Greetings, brothers, and welcome. Today, we are going to discuss about the death of criticism in Warhammer 40k. This is nothing new, I would say, and it is quite obvious when it happened since 8th edition, more or less, when you had previous 40k channels and before they went away. The reason I am making this video is to set the record more or less, so you guys can see how I attack more or less this subject. Death of criticism in Warhammer 40k. Some of you might think there is criticism in 40k, but softballing or critiquing something that is safe is not criticism. The criticism that I'm talking about is essentially what I do, what Gamza or Asmogan does, or used to do really. The ones that were generally around and were generally cared about the hobby, but they were being pushed back to a certain extent from the 40k audience that just didn't want to hear it. All of this is just too harsh for the 40k audience to bear the criticism. Why? Well, I've explained this before, but I'll do it again, and I'll do it so many fucking times before. And I'll fucking do it again! No, it's not the emotional bitches one, even though that is equally a valid point, but it is parasocial behavior, where it is essentially people are attaching their identity to a brand or a celebrity, because for them themselves are very hollow, they're very empty, so they cannot even develop their own personality, thus they have to attach themselves into someone else's personality or some brand's personality. When it comes to Warhammer 40k people will attach themselves as either the faction that is presented in Warhammer 40k or as Warhammer 40k. Sure, you can say it is cognitive dissonance, where they know what they're doing is wrong, but they still do it. I want a good example? Cocks. And so many equally valid points, but the main reason to mention it here is when you make a critique against 40k, you are attacking the person. At least that's how the 40k fan sees it.
You are attacking something I like, thus I must defend thy honor.
This is the 40k fan base acting like this. If you critique 40k channels, and so many other more because you're just pointing it out they were doing something wrong, or, even more heretical, which is, beyond anybody's limit, just giving your own opinion, then you are going to get the belt of Olympus. Warhammer 40k fans generally don't like critiques at all. Obviously, these types of comments are a thing on YouTube in general, but the thing is, when you discuss a certain topic, these comments to a certain extent are the majority when it comes to the Warhammer 40k. Unless you're a Warhammer 40k channel that appeases the audience, then that's a different story. The 40k fans' IQ level is so dumb that they legit think memes and exaggeration of the lore are so legit like it's canon.
Nellop, what is canon?
I don't know, man. Never heard that woman before, to be honest. So yeah, you want some examples of this? So the obvious one is they think bigger means they're better in Warhammer 40k. The Emperor is so powerful that apparently he can just defeat any sci-fi universe by using his, psychic powers. The Baneblade is a scout tank. The Krieg uses shovels as their primary melee weapon. Guilliman and Ivrang having an affair. Infinite Divine is a good book. Or you can go and watch people's comments in the versus videos between 40k versus XYZ Sci-Fi. The list can go on and more and more. And do you want to know where they get this idea from? You already guessed it! 40k channels that exaggerate the lore, or they get it from the memes.
40k is so great and powerful, they can just defeat anything.
That type of thinking. 40k fans hasn't changed for the last 6 years, and it will never ever change later on either. Well, other than it was just gonna keep getting worse with more dumber audience, but other than that, that's how it is. So when you have an audience so dumb, especially newcomers that come along and etc., where they have not much of a ground to stand on other than just relying on 40k channels, then you have a genuine let's just say you have a genuine critique of a certain subject, not just any subject, but like a subject people shiver me timbers, where people just generally shiver me timbers moment when they don't really want to talk about it. So you go on and talk about it and all that, and because people don't have really a counter against it other than just to mock you or strawman you to death. It hasn't changed since I started this YouTube channel. Nice to meet you, my name is Nellop. And honestly, it's the 40k fans. What else do you expect? Since when can you reason with someone who's unreasonable? Or in other words made by Nellop, Why would you give your car keys to a retard that is lid jar certified? Why would you give your car keys to a retard that he is only lid jar certified? It's always like this, man.
I don't know what you're on about, thus I'm gonna call this video a rage bait or clickbait.
Damn, you got me. Damn, you fucking got me. Like, I wonder which YouTuber you got it from, because I know that YouTuber isn't a smart one either. But anyways, I think that will be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out all my socials and my donations. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye, my brothers, and take care.